This is, that's,
Okay, I'm just getting you up on YouTube again here.
Do it.
Close that out
I'm
earlier.
so dry from Vegas. Oh, my God. Dude, I'm telling you what, I'm coming off my high right now.
Okay, we're good. We're back live on YouTube. Everything looks good. I did have on that, oh, go ahead.
Bob Olson,
Yes.
Tom Kitson,
Yes.
Jack Scrogstead,
Yes.
Mike Copine,
Yes.
Mike Zeman,
Yes.
Jim Sheeline,
Yes.
Tom Wilson.
Yes.
So on that sheet I handed out, I also talked about a couple different options for the timeline for hiring. So option number one would be to essentially post the job as soon as possible and look to have somebody in place by July 1st, allowing about 6 months of cross-training time. Hiring option number two would be to post the job in July with the idea of getting somebody on in mid to late August and leave about 3 months worth of cross-training. And then you see, I do need some feedback. If you decide to ASAP, go ahead and post for the job. I would need information to post for the job. And that would be kind of a range of salary that we would post. And I think I did review the job description and I think it looks still very accurate. I wouldn't make any, I don't recommend any changes to it. So with that said, I'll throw it back to you guys.
What's the consensus?
So as far as the salary, I would post the job as ASAP. I think it's real important that whoever we get has that 6 months cross-training with you, Wendy. And so I think that's a no-brainer there, that we post it as soon as possible, if that's the direction we're going.
Well, I think we need a month to go back through the job description and salary range and make sure we're all on board.
And as far as finance goes, I probably need to sit down with Wendy, and of course, it's going to be dependent on, I think we need to expand that salary range than what you have here, because it's going to be dependent upon that person, that candidate's, experience qualifications. And I think it needs to be a fairly large range.
I'm good with that. All I need is your direction on it, so.
Yeah. So I think Wendy, you and I can get together and we can tighten that up, and then we'll bring that to finance next month and run with that.
Yeah, maybe we take a month and we touch up the job description, talk about the salary, and then we come back next month and then we can decide a time frame when we post it. Is everybody okay with that?
Works for me.
Wendy, didn't you and I had a conversation, you talked to somebody that had said to you, you don't want somebody there too long because they get comfortable letting you do stuff and or your board. And I mean, I like both your options, but do you have an opinion on one? Because you are the person who's going to do it. You are the person who's going to train them. And I'm not sure that decision, it's ours, but I'm not sure we should be making it without that input, because when you and I had that conversation, I went home and thought about it, thought it made a lot of sense. And if you don't mind sharing that with me.
No, I'm happy to. So the advice I got was from a former city manager who's a member of a professional organization statewide. And his point was, if you give too much crossover time, the newbie coming in is enthusiastically wanting to start their job, but they're always going to be shadowed by the person that's still sitting there. And furthermore, board members or department heads may tend to come to the current administrator versus the new one, so it can make it a little awkward, to say the least. To be honest with you, Tom, though, I'm really torn. I can see this going either way, because if I had somebody sooner rather than later, I think of all the things we could get done between now and the end of the year, because there's still things on the list that need to be done.
Right.
So I feel like having somebody and being able to, have them hit the ground running with some projects would be a good plan too. So with that said, I'm back and forth myself personally on what would be a good idea. I certainly wouldn't go beyond the 6 months. And if we wait till next month to even post it, now we're starting to whittle that down, to 3 to 4 months. Now we're starting to whittle that down by the time we get somebody hired.
Jack,
I just, when I was leaving my position, I didn't have a whole lot of time into the training. I wish I had 6 months to show the person that was taking my position. But, with the 6 months, I'm thinking, okay, 3 months, you're doing this training. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. And on month 4, all of a sudden, you're removing yourself And then this person is making all the decisions, all those things coming in. An email comes in, you're forwarding it to that person, hey, hey Wendy, hey, nope, you need to talk to Billy Bob about this. I'm sorry, that's the first name that came to my head. Let them decide, because then all of a sudden they're starting to feel that heat and that pressure and that stress that.
And get some real world experience too.
Yeah, and so then, by fourth, fifth, by the sixth month, you're pretty much removed from it, but you're obviously, you're still checking it. And then when that person comes in, they've got at least 3 months of actually handling it. And so that's my thought on the 6 months and, how you would do it.
Once again, let Tom and I get together with Wendy and we'll come with a couple of proposals. We'll talk to finance and let us do it. You got something you want to share? We've got that 1,000-yard stare going. All right.
Let's go up like that.
Yeah, right.
Motion for the raise.
Yes, we need that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we raise the administrator's salary by 5%
And it's
throughout the next year, or through
Extended.
the year.
extended for 6 months.
Yes, for the 6 months.
Second.
We got a 5% raise, extended for 6 months. I got a first and I got a second with Mike Copine. Any discussion? Any discussion? You what? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Wendy. Congratulations, another 6 months. Anyhow,
At least.
at least, to start out with.
Get off of that.
All right, so we're done with that portion of our agenda, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Then now I'm going to read off our agenda for Thursday night. If there's something that we don't want, and not that I love to read these off, but we're going to go through them.
Ready to go.
So call to order, pledge allegiance, invocation, the roll call, chair announcements, approval of the minutes, all boilerplate. Joseph Meyer resolutions, we've got none, but we'll leave it on there. We got 2 petitions on zoning and planning, I guess 3. Got 2. Got 2 and then B and then term, need all them. Administrator monthly update, public comments, county organizations, reports of the committee. Now we get down to where we need to do stuff here. Unfinished business, we got public transportation application ordinance that was held over. That's of course. The noxious weed was held over. Is there any other old business that we need to just have on this agenda? None? Okay, we go to the new business, the resolution we talked about today for agriculture. Resolution for the motor fuel tax appropriation resolution. Stuart Cooper and Gutter. The addendum to VSW Devco LLC road use agreement. That went through committee. Everybody's good with that. We'll have that on there. The employee handbook revisions. Facility director hiring process. Do we want that on the agenda or how do you want to?
So Jim and I had this conversation at finance, and the finance's opinion was that we put it on the agenda for transparency's sake, even though it's budgeted and it wouldn't necessarily need to be. It's a good idea to inform the board. We're heading forward with that.
So, okay. I don't know if we want the hiring process on there or we're going to discuss that night or
That's the fact we're going to hire.
just the fact that we're going to hire this.
Just the fact that we're going to hire, yeah.
We have to- yeah.
And it really doesn't take any action by the board. It's really just and in fact, I don't know, Jim, your call from your committee, this is the recommendation to put it on the board agenda. Do you want a motion or you want it under my report or?
I think it could be under your report, and it's an informational item. It's not an
Okay.
action item.
All right, let's
So-
do that.
You know, I might argue that because is it on the budget? If it's not in the budget, then we need to have.
It is in the budget because we just freed up budget space by,
Then
yeah.
it should be in your report.
Next year, is that an issue? I mean.
It's not, and that's when what we'll handle through the budget process this summer.
Okay.
All right, so. Yeah. I'd
Yeah,
strike
I'll
that.
just include it under my administrative report.
We'll strike number 6, the Small Business Development Center too. We'll take that out of there. Yep. Appointments, we got them two, Bruce and Mike. Leave executive session on there for now. Approval of county officers' reports, of course, roll call, monthly revenue. Approval of board member mileage, adjournment, the rest of it all looks good. I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Wilson moves, Mr. Yeller, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Kitson. Seconds it.
Tom and Tom.
Yes.
Tom first, Tom second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I move for adjournment. Jack?
I'll make it.
Jack and Mr. Wilson, seconds it. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.